Yeah, yeah. Sit back, relax, the world is wide. Close your eyes, take a mental ride. Classrooms in Paris, libraries in Milan. Where do you want to stand when the day dawns? Is it Dublin's green or Barcelona's sun? Pick your place, the journey's begun. The study abroad portal, yeah. Dreaming, living anywhere. The study abroad portal, yeah. Life's changing, skies are fair.
Great. Welcome everybody to this webinar that you joined in to hear more about the study of applied experimental psychology in Milan, and we'll be going over to Milan in just a minute. My name is Luc Mulling. I'm the moderator of today. And I just want to make sure that, you know the interactive options that we have. So first of all, indeed, you can write where you're logging in from, maybe in the chat. That's just nice to see the variety of people that can join today. But if you have any questions, please do so and write them through the panel called questions on the right bottom. There you can write them at any time. Also for the people watching recording, in case you are, we will be able to then get back to you as well. For the live audience, we will be answering the questions at the end of the session. Also, I already opened up a little poll. So there's a poll question. In this case, what is the most important to you in selecting a university program? And thank you to let us know so we get a feel for your situation and status of things as well. And I'll be opening up a couple of more poll questions throughout the session. And last but not least, we have a little fun button, so to say. At the bottom of the screen, you see a button called React. And that is just to make it even more interactive. So if you hear something you like, exactly, that's one. So by all means do that, because it makes it more fun and for the presenters, because then they have an idea that there's actually an audience listening to them as well. So without further ado, let's go over to the presenters. They're going to introduce themselves, and we'll start with the professor.
Thank you very much for this kind introduction and for hosting me here. I am Giulio Costantini. I am a professor of psychometrics here at Milano-Bicocca and the president of the Applied Experimental Psychological Sciences Master. My research interests, if you are into that, are in network psychometrics and in personality psychology, also in a little bit in psychometry. And with me, we have Valentina Munoz-Miglianelli and Alberto Valli. Valentina is one of our most outstanding students. Please, and I will let her introduce herself.
Hello to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Valentina. I'm a second-year student of the AEPS Master. I'm from Colombia, but I'm currently living in Italy to do this master's abroad, this international program as well. So happy to be here to answer all your questions and also to share my experience, not only as an international student, but also as a future researcher.
Hi everyone, I'm Alberto Valli and I'm from the Marketing International Recruitment Office of the University of Milano-Bicocca. I will also stay here with you in case you have any question regarding your application and information you want to know about the process on applying on Applied Experimental Psychological Sciences Master degree. Hi everyone.
Great. Here are the slides. So I will, today is structured like this. I will first talk a little bit about this wonderful master program. I will essentially, I will try to take the perspective of a student and show you what you are expected to do if you enroll in this master, from the day you arrive in Milan to your graduation, essentially. And I would also try to give you some perspective about what this master is teaching you, most importantly, and also about the future, professional future that you may have if you are in this master, which is called Applied Experimental Psychological Sciences, typically called AEPS for brevity. And well, I just realized that I didn't include any slides, like more general slides about Milan or our campus or our department. And it just occurred to me that in from abroad to running this master, of course, these are things that may be important or relevant. So Milan, as many of you may already know, is a relatively big city in the northern of Italy. And I think, I am from Milan, essentially. I've been born and raised here. And I like this city very much because it combines, let's say, the warmth that you can find in Italy as a country. I don't think I have to tell you about that, but with the efficiency of a major European city. So in terms of services, transportation, in terms of any type of comfort that you can find, you can find it in Milan. And it's, I think it's the second biggest city in Italy, if you also consider the hinterland. University of Milan-Bicocca is a very large university. We have 39,000 students from all of the disciplines, of course, not only psychology. And the university is located in the northern part of Milan, so it's not in the city center. This is also kind of an advantage because of the housing market, which is slightly less expensive if you move a little bit farther away from the city center, which, as you may imagine, is quite expensive nowadays, as all major cities in Europe and in the world, I think. Ours is a relatively young university. So it was founded in 1998. And it's, I think the fact that we are, you may know that in Italy we have the first ever university ever founded, University of Bologna. Many other universities have a history that dates back centuries. The fact that we are a young university is, I also see that as an advantage. Of course, in the picture on the right here, you can see some of our buildings in the campus, and you may notice that these are kind of a square parallelepipeds, so big blocks. And one of the advantages is that in terms of spaces, being in a modern university is relatively important. So we have many facilities, laboratories, rooms. You will not struggle to find your seat when you attend lectures. It's something that happen in historical universities that are in the city center and in ancient buildings, etc. And as a department, as a psychology department, so the Applied Experimental Psychological Science Master is part of the psychology department here in Milan-Bicocca. And ours is one of the biggest departments in Italy, and I think one of the biggest in Europe. We have about 100 faculties. So, 100 faculties, including full professor, associate professor, and researchers. And these, of course, to these, we also have postdocs, PhD students, and we have about 50 temporary positions for teaching. So this means that, for example, when choosing your master thesis or a research part, you can count on about 150 people who can supervise you, who can guide you. And this can be, I would say, very important because irrespective of your specific research interest or your specific interest within the field of psychology, you will find someone who is expert in that. For most of psychology. Psychology is an enormously broad domain, so it includes also things that we don't do much here. For example, we don't have much of animal psychology in Bicocca, that is true, but for the rest, I think we have almost everything. Now, getting back to the master, the master program, AEPS is a research-intensive master's degree. So the name says it all: Applied Experimental Psychological Sciences. So the idea is that this is our international master. We also have other master here, which are taught in Italian. There are about, for example, clinical psychology, work and organizational psychology, developmental psychology. But AEPS is a really valued master in this university because, well, it's the only international master in psychology. It's a small master program. We have up to 65 students per year. So you will have a very good ratio between students and professors. It has been established recently in 2017-18, and if you are addicted to the program, you will be entering its 10th edition in 2026-27. The program is fully taught in English, needless to say, of course, and it's strongly embedded in an international academic environment. I would say this master has some, I think, it's a rare combination of features. The goal of this master, and what you will experience if you enroll, is that we want to give you an advanced methodological and quantitative expertise to our students. So we will teach you how to design experiments, to analyze data, psychometrics, also computational approaches. We will go into the details of each of the exams, not the details of each of the programs, of course, but well, the overview of the exams, and you will realize that is not your typical master in psychology, because it gives you a lot of very rare skills that are always found in psychologists after a master. So, and not only it will give you methodological and quantitative expertise, but also the whole idea is enable students and graduates to integrate basic research with real-world applications. So in this way, we want to have graduates who are versatile and can use their skills in all of the different sectors of psychology. So, for example, AEPS students can go into clinical psychology, can go into developmental psychology, can go into industrial organizational psychology, but in there, the idea is that they can apply their strong background in methodology and research to those fields to innovate them, not only to, you know, reproduce acquired knowledge. And also, and that's very important, AEPS is gives you full requirements to be a licensed psychologist. So after you graduate from AEPS, if you want to become a psychotherapist, you can. You will be a psychologist as if you graduate from clinical psychology, developmental psychology. So this is absolutely true also for this program. But again, AEPS is very different because it gives you this strong methodological and quantitative training. It gives you a lot of research experience during the program. It allows you to interact more directly with faculty members, both because this is a small program, so you have not that many students for each faculty member, and also because at Milan-Bicocca we have quite a large number of research laboratories, and you will be able, for example, during your thesis and other parts of your studies, to join these laboratories if you are interested too. And this, I will return to this later with some data, but this AEPS provides an excellent pathway to PhD programs and international research careers. So we have, I really know many brilliant students who, after graduating from AEPS, pursued an academic career, got accepted into selective PhD programs, and what is also important is that it gives you an equally strong preparation for applied careers. As I told you before, you become a licensed psychologist and you can enter even other career outside research, with the idea that you will be able to bring innovation to those fields. So the path of AEPS. The path, I try to describe what you need to do to acquire all the credits. Master has 120 credits, and I will break it down for you. So everything that you need to do to graduate. And AEPS, as all of the masters in Italy, I think in Europe, is a 2-year master. It includes 6 compulsory courses for overall 48 credits. And these 6 courses, you have to take them, basically. You cannot choose. And these provide you the foundational aspects in the core areas of research methods and also the application. In the first year, you also have 2 hands-on methodological laboratories. You need to take at least 2 laboratories, and you can choose among 4. And then you have a fully elective course. In this fully elective course, you can choose it among all of the exams that are available in our university. For example, you can decide to, we have many students, for example, choosing machine learning, or but you can also, you can really choose like game theory. You can go into the economics department, whatever you want. The idea is this first year provides with a strong foundation in experimental design, quantitative methods, and the core areas of psychological sciences, combined with hands-on methodological training. So you will learn the basics, let's say, but again, not the type of basics that you get in your bachelor. And as you will see, the specific areas in which these courses are within psychology are very broad. So in the first semester, you will have cognitive neuroscience, cognitive psychology, and experimental clinical psychology, and principle of ethics. So as you can see, the content, the specific content, will go from cognitive psychology, the neuroscience, and then clinical psychology. Within each of these courses, you will also acquire some more applied skills. Like in cognitive neuroscience, you will learn how to program PsychoPy. PsychoPy is a software to administer experiments. In cognitive psychology, you will have Matlab lab sessions in which you will learn how to administer experiments in Matlab and do and use this software, which is well, a skill that is very important if you are in. So the idea, and in the second semester you will have social cognition, and you will learn social psychology. You will learn Inquisit. These 3 software are very important because if you know how to program them, essentially you can create and administer any psychological paradigm to people. So you can do your own research. You're ready to implement it and deliver it and collect data yourself. Experimental clinical psychology and principle of ethics doesn't really teach you a specific software, but gives you, I put here a smartwatch and a smartphone because the way in which we teach experimental clinical psychology is introducing you to the more advanced and modern insights in the field. And as you may know, nowadays clinical psychology use let's say the frontier of clinical psychology. This is not what practitioners do in their everyday practice with the patients yet, but we use a lot of mobile sensing, like sensors, and also real-time questionnaires. So we ask people how they do, how they're feeling, how are their emotions during the day while they're experiencing this. And these allow you to get to know patients and also individuals in a deeper way. And so program like psychological intervention more carefully. Then we have cognitive development, in which you will have acquire some knowledge also on EEG, electrocardiograms, EMG is for muscle reactivity, the skin conductance. All of these apply to infants. And psychometrics and quantitative methods. Psychometrics, this is my field, so I will teach you R in that. I assume that many of you will already be familiar with R as a software and Jamovi. They are software for data analysis. And Jamovi is more, let's say, simple and user-friendly, but is also more limited and is very well based on R. And R is, let's say, a programming language, a scripting language that is, I would say, the most widespread data analysis software in the world, and is extremely flexible. So in R, you can do very complicated, advanced data analysis, also basic types, and you can also program your own new algorithm for data analysis. So in the first year, what I told you, you will learn the basics. Again, it's not the same basics that you get in the bachelor most of the times. I'm not familiar with all of your bachelors, but the idea is that you learn how to collect the data, how to analyze them, and how to interpret them. You also will have these hands-on methodological laboratories. You need to choose 2 of them. And these are cognitive and behavioral measures in which you will learn like paradigms related to decision making, and you will also learn a little bit of meta-analysis using Stata, another statistical software. You will also, computational modeling will deal with computational models of human minds. It will also introduce you to artificial intelligence and the base, let's say, give you a broader historical perspective on artificial intelligence and how it originated from language, the studies on language, and on say psychological processes in a way. And you will also use R to implement some of this stuff. Measurement methods and ambulatory assessment will essentially teach you. I told you that in experimental clinical psychology, you will learn about the modern type of doing this, so with smartphone and sensors, etc., and collecting data of that type. Measurement methods and ambulatory assessment is taught by a psychometrician who will teach you how to use Qualtrics and also smartphone apps to collect these data in real time and to analyze them. A research method in cognitive neuroscience, if you prefer to deepen methods in cognitive neuroscience, will teach you directly how to handle functional magnetic fMRI data, collect and analyze fMRI data. So a skill that is very important in also psychological, in some subfields of psychological research. This is very important to have. So as you can see already, this program is giving you a type of training that is rare in a way. It's not our graduates are not the typical psychologists, and this, of course, has some implication that I will show you. Then in the fully elective course, as I told you, you can choose whatever you want within the university. So another thing is that if you want to, instead of choosing another course within the university, you can choose 4 laboratories. You can do the 4 of them. Many students decide to do that because well, they appreciate this type of what these laboratories offer. So you can choose 2, but you don't need strictly to choose 2. You can also take the 4 of them. So second year, I will have a sip of water. So the second year is designed to, with in mind, 2 things. One is allowing you to specialize in subfields of psychology that you are most interested in. So the first year gives you, let's say, the broad overview. The second year allows you to focus on what you are most interested in, like the type of psychologist or researcher you want to become. And but it also gives you what is called transferable research skills. So you will have 2 laboratories, 8 credits overall, that allow you to deepen skills that are related to research in general, and also skills that allow you to transfer research to the applied fields. Then you will have an internship and a master's thesis. So the elective courses, you can choose 3 of them. Or if you want, of course, you can use the elective credits from the first year and choose 4. That is also a possibility. And I will not go into the details of each of those, but they cover all of the main areas of psychology. So general psychology and language, we have decision-making course, cognitive ergonomics course that includes also elements related to virtual reality, for example, language and cognition, applied neuroscience, that includes human-robot interaction, and many other, let's say, this is one, applied neuroscience is one of the most tech-oriented courses. It includes also, well, human-robot interaction, virtual reality, sensors. It's really tech-intensive. We have, in the neuroscience field, we also have social, cognitive, and affective neuroscience. Those in pink are actually courses that come from different master's program, but that we, let's say, we take from those, so that they are coordinated with us, so they're not exclusively for AEPS students, but they are for, you also have students from other programs joining those courses. We have applied cognitive development, if you're interested in developmental psychology. If you're interested in social psychology, you can choose applied social cognition to public policies. If you are interested in industrial organizational psychology, you can have consumer psychology. If you are interested in clinical psychology, we have this new. This course will start next year for those who are enrolled this year, and is individual differences assessment in clinical and non-clinical domains. And this brings this idea of assessing and evaluating individual differences in real time, both in patients and in healthy individuals, let's say, to the next level. Then we have a couple of exams that are not strictly within the field of psychology, but in neighboring fields. So elements of human-technology interaction and machine learning. So as you can see, the idea is that you can choose the subfields of psychology that attract you the most and specialize in some subfields. And well, another characteristic of these courses, as compared to the ones of the first year, is that they are elective. So the number of students enrolled in each course drops a little bit. And this can be an advantage because the type of interaction that you have with the teachers is even more personal. When you are, I don't know, 10 people in a room, is a different teaching experience, I guess. Then we have these 2 laboratories, and these 2 laboratories are strictly mandatory. So you cannot choose between them, you have to do them both. And these are evaluation of psychological intervention and transferable research skills. The first one is, will teach you how to design interventions and examine their implication, including ethics, but also the risks and the societal impact. And most of all, the ability to evaluate intervention on the basis of cost and benefit analysis. These skills are extremely important, especially, and that's why you have the dollar symbol on the left. These skills are extremely important if you want to projects of interventions to be funded, to get some money out of them. And so we will have a final, this is one laboratory that I teach together with a colleague. We will do a laboratory in which you will need to prepare with your colleagues a fundable intervention proposal that will be evaluated through peer review. So your colleagues will have reviewers, and we will have a final presentation in which I will sit together with a panel of your colleagues. Of course, you will sit in the panel for the other colleagues, and we will judge which of the programs can be fundable, let's say. And I have to say that some of those programs are the projects that have been developed during the laboratory as actually, I have in mind some that are, people are trying to develop them in real life. I have in mind one that I had supervised last year, which is about a device for autistic children to allow them to, ADHD children, to allow them through specific tapping sequences to refocus their attention. And the students, they built the device eventually. and they are trying to attract the real funds and bring this to life. And transferable research skills, you will learn how to manage the research process, from generating an idea to reviewing the literature to disseminating it to the scientific community. And the experience that you will have at the end is a conference. It's a simulated conference in which you will have peer review. Some of you will present posters, some of you oral presentations. You will have faculties and students asking questions exactly as if you are in a real conference. And I think these two are very important because they prepare you for real life challenges that you will most likely find anyway in your professional careers. The internship. So the idea of the internship is that it allows you to go into the real world outside the university and apply what you've learned. And it will also connect you, let's say, with your, hopefully, your future jobs. You can go to the public sectors. That includes, for example, hospital. AEPS is something that is typically in Italy, I would say. These are hospitals that have also research, a lot of research. So this is the typical positions in which our students, like places in which our students do the internship. In the private sector, you can go to companies, so for example, consultancies, but also private practitioners if you're interested in clinical aspects. And this internship can happen in Italy, can also happen internationally. So you can go abroad and do your internship. You can also, if you want, go to your home country and do the internship there. That is also possible. But of course, you can. I mean, it's not doesn't need to happen in Italy. And we have quite some students. I will say 15%, more or less, who do that abroad, including Italian students, of course, who are interested to go abroad. The master thesis it has to be supervised by one of our faculty members, one of the about 100 faculty members we have in our department, and can be conducted in collaboration with external institutions. So, for example, you can have international partners, you can have people in industry, you can have other partners, like you can go abroad with an Erasmus traineeship program and do the work for the thesis there. It needs to be eventually supervised by one of us. So the main supervisor cannot be a practitioner, must be one of us. Then it can happen in collaboration with other figures. In terms of research, our department is, I would say, quite strong. It has been, so in Italy we have what we call an award, is a Department of Excellence, meaning that we get some, I don't remember exactly how much, but 8 millions or 10 millions if you are considered a Department of Excellence in terms of research. And our department has always been awarded this recognition. So in Italy, I mean, this of course is compares departments of psychology in Italy, and our department is one of the strongest in the country. And we have a lot of advanced research laboratories. If you click, I don't know if maybe you cannot click on this link, so it's my fault. But if you search UNIMIP and psychology research laboratories, you will find a list of research laboratories that I can post it in the chat. Psychology, just very quickly, I will post this in the chat so that you can have an idea of.
I will be able to share the link on the screen right now.
Okay. I posted it in the chat. So you can click on it and you will see that we have a BCAP. The first is for developing apps, smartphone apps and sensors and smartwatches apps for psychology. You have a psycholinguistic lab. You have cognitive electrophysiology. You have really a huge array of laboratories that allow you and also devices that allow you to research in many psychological fields. So you will have it. You have this, let's say, full experience in terms of research, You will have international exposures, and I will tell you in a moment about our seminars program. You will have, we also have a very strong orientation activities. We have many tutors. Valentina is one of those tutors, and we have tutors like students tutors. So we pay some of the students to help other students, like newly arrived students, to let's say navigate the Italian academic system and AEPS in particular. We have tutors who allow you to help you with your thesis, tutors that help you with your internship. So we have a really rich tutoring program. Overall, AEPS has 10 tutors, and we don't have that many students. We have 65 per year. So you will be, let's say, very well attended in a way by faculties and students. And so just very quickly, we also have, unlike any other master in Milan, we have a structured seminar program for our students. These are some of the topics that have been dealt with over the years. And we have professors from all over the world. Maybe you know some of them if you are from the countries, if you somehow have been in touch with these people. They are all, let's say, top researchers in their fields, and they can bring you with their seminars. These are seminars that are dedicated to AEPS students. So we will not have other people around. So they will be longer than a typical academic seminar. You will have a lot of space for questions. You will have possibility to interact with these people. So I think this is a very important part of our program. And in terms of career paths, this is something that I think you are wondering, what can I do with this master? PhD programs, both in Italy, in Europe, and internationally. So many students after AEPS decide to enter in a PhD program, and I have to say they are very successful in this type of endeavors. You can have research roles, like there are other positions than PhD, of course, in academia, so research scholarships, or well, AEPS prepares you very well for an academic career. I always say people that are a good AEPS student is like a second-year PhD student. So you enter, if you want to enter a research path, you're really very well prepared. You can also have careers in industry, like in user experience, in data analysis, in behavioral science. And you can also have a clinical professional pathway, again, bringing in those fields a unique set of skills and abilities. These are some data. Like this is Alma Laurea, is an entity in Italy who does research on people who graduated from each and every master program and bachelor program in Italy. And I'm sorry, in the x-axis I forgot the Italian. So one anno means year. So 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years after graduating. This is what happens to our students. So after 1 year, this is proportion of employed student, and after 1 year, the proportion is similar to other masters in the yellow bar is psychological masters in Italy, the pink one is psychological masters in Lombardy, and the green one is our master, AEPS. After 3 years, our students are a really high level of employability, and then after 5 years, all of the respondents to that survey were employed. And this is something I wanted to share with you. This is the proportion of people who entered the PhD program or who completed the PhD program after 1, 3, and 5 years. And we have that after 5 years, 2/3 of our students successfully entered or completed the PhD program. This one order of magnitude more than other programs. So if you are interested in a research career or even a PhD to then transition to industry, AEPS gives you, let's say, big shoulders. You are very well prepared to this. So, of course, my suggestion is to apply now. And I mean it, because the deadline for application is in, when is it? It's on Tuesday. So you European students, and 45 for Italian and EU students. And we typically have more than 200 applications. So sometimes, I mean, I really suggest my suggestion is to apply as soon as possible. And the selection is not, of course, on first come, first served basis. It's related to your academic record, so your grades, your what you did in your bachelor, then your resume, and the motivational letter. So we also evaluate very much whether your motivation aligns with the program. This for us is very important because we want students who are, let's say, whose ambitions are aligned with what we can offer. We don't want students who want to do something completely different and then, later on regret having enrolled in our master. And we also give, we have requirements, so you need to have a bachelor from psychology, and you need to know English at a level that is at least B2.
But I also had the opportunity to do an internship here in Milan in the clinical side, which helped me as well link one area of psychology that I was curious about, but I hadn't in the moment explored fully. And I think this is also something very nice about this master, is that, as Professor was mentioning, here you build the skills, the technical and theoretical skills that you need to then further on apply them in whatever field of psychology you'd like. When I entered this internship, even though I didn't have the, let's say, specialized background in clinical psychology, I had all the tools that I needed to understand, for instance, be critical in my thinking about the patients that I had in front, be flexible and adaptable. I was able to help the clinicians retrieve data better so that we could create better, let's say, programs and solutions for the diagnosis. I was able also to do research inside this clinic. So like that, let's say the profile that this master builds on you as a student is a person that can land in any other place and build a place for themselves, which I think nowadays having this flexibility allows you as well to open the doors yourself as soon as you graduate. As for the thesis, I've had a wonderful experience choosing a project that, let's say, matches what I've been always working on with the cognitive psychology. I had the opportunity to gather the data using participants with eye tracking technologies, do the data analysis with all the technical skills that we had gathered before, and seeing this like turn into such a huge project that we will in fact be presenting in an international conference is something that I never pictured myself doing before, and having the opportunity to do so because of the team that is behind me in the university, something that I am very grateful for. So if you're interested in research, I think this master is the right place for you to, let's say, nurture this idea, this curiosity that you may have before, and find the right people, the right tools, and the right sources to keep building on it. But of course, if you have other interests that are not so, let's say, scientific or so into research, it also builds you some technical skills that nowadays, in such, let's say, a fast-paced and fast-moving world, where of course we know that today we see one thing, but tomorrow it's not even like recognized what we're seeing today. Having the technical skills at the end of the day is what really matters, like being able to adapt yourself. So of course, I would leave now the table to you guys. If you have any questions that we can solve for you, we're happy to do so.
Well,
I can take the question if you want, Julio. Hi. Actually, applications are super easy, and it literally takes, I tested myself, less than 15 minutes to end up finishing your application once you have all the documents ready. We have an apply.unimip.it website, which is a very user-friendly interface, and you'll be asked to apply by selecting the program. The intake is open for a few more days now. If you want to, if you're considering apply for the program starting this year, if you have to apply for next year program, normally intakes for courses such as this one open up at the beginning of the year and stay open for a month and a half. the application for extra EU students. When you prepare the application, you have to consider that you have to present all the documents related to your previous education. So be sure that you read carefully through the call for application to see what is needed to be presented, but it's quite obvious. You need to present the certificate, the transcript of records, possibly the syllabus with the information about your previous education, in case this is considered to be an implemented factor on addressing your background. The motivation letter needs to be written on the editing part of the application. Is not on a document you have to upload. You have a set number of characters that that you're able to use, and then the application goes first through a process of credential evaluation and certify that you're eligible to attend a master degree in Italy, considering your previous education, and then all the application are passed to the selection commission of Professor Costantini and his colleagues that works on two things. First, dealing with the eligibility, and then setting up the graduatory. One thing that wasn't mentioned that specifically is that we have 5 full scholarship offered for international students having a foreign degree of 10,000 euros. Those scholarships are available for all the students who are undertaking this intake that ends in the very end of March. So in order to be eligible, you need to apply to this intake, the first intake, or next year you will need to apply for the first intake of the year. And they are merit scholarship, fully merit scholarship. So it only depends on your previous study performance and evaluation of from the selection commission. In any case, once you file the application, if you have any doubt, through the platform, we will clarify your doubt while you are presenting the application.
If I may add, thank you. This is something I really want to stress. So as Alberto was mentioning, we do have, because I saw in the post that affordability, housing, cost of living is some of the things that you are more interested into. And I will say, of course, Milan is not famously cheap city, but the first thing is we do have this scholarship. You don't even need to apply. When you apply for the master program, you automatically apply to the scholarship, and we do have 5 scholarships of 10,000 euros per year. So 20,000 euros for each of the awardees. And this is only for 5 students overall, but 5 international students. And consider that we do have 20 places outside Europe and 45 between Italians and European students. And these scholarships are not for Italian students. So the possibility to being awarded a scholarship is not that irrelevant, let's say. Also, I do have some suggestions. So the fact that the university is in Milan, in the city, doesn't mean that you really need to live in the city of Milan. We are far north, and for example, I don't live in the city of Milan. I live in a neighboring tiny city, which is 10 minutes from here, and the housing is more affordable. The cost of living, other than that, is, let's say, normal. So like restaurants or food is not expensive. What is a little bit expensive in the city of Milan is housing. And the university has also a program of residences, especially for students whose financial abilities are not who are not very well off. We do have residents, and you can get into those residents, and the cost is lower than the housing market in the city. Yes, yes, we do have. We do have an Italian language program, and every year the university offers. This is not compulsory, so you can do it, but you don't need to do it. And the university is a convention with like an agreement with an outside entity called Dante Institution. This entity may change throughout the years, but with people who teach you Italian for free. So yes, we facilitate that, but we do not impose that, let's say.
Yes, sorry, I was struggling finding the way to unplug my microphone. The fee structure is quite easy, actually. There is an application fee once you register of €30. You can select up to 3 programs. Actually, on the program we are presenting now, let's say that there are eligibility criteria that makes you want to take it if you have a background in psychology. So, and it's the only program that the university offer fully taught in English. So you might select other program, but they must be in Italian, or probably they won't be your cup of tea as if you're interested in the master program in applied experimental psychology. Once you receive the offer, so once the first, let's say, graduate is completed, and we send out offer to the first batch of students, like the first choice student of the programs, you have a set time to confirm your offer. You confirm your offer by selecting through the application, and also by submitting a deposit payment of €150. The deposit payment is considered the confirmation of your place. The place is reserved once you pay the deposit. This deposit will not replace your first installment, but it will be discounted from the balance that you have to pay to the university in case then you decide physically and to come and to join the program. The tuition fee are then different from country of origin for international students. There is a selected, there are 3 groups of countries. They based by national income, and depending from the country you are from, you are required to pay a tuition fee, which is different. To be presenting you what is the situation right now, is that right now most of our students pay for 1 year less than €1,000 per year. This because Italy represents probably along with Spain and some lands in Germany, the only remaining countries in Europe that take in consideration the fact that education needs to be as a constitutional right, and for many historical reasons, let's say, that makes Italy a good destination in terms of cost and quality opportunity, because well, half of the university students in Italy don't pay for the university. It's completely free. But compared to other countries such as UK, such as well, France and Northern Europe, that switch the fact that extra EU students are paying students for their university sector. Italy is let's say still for the public sector, for the public university, a very competitive option, because all programs in Italy for university, they range across 500 to top are, I don't know, €2,500 per year. For some engineering program that I'm thinking from some public universities. So besides the fact that the structure is application fee, deposit, and then the balance, but the balance with overall, unless you are coming from Japan, let's say, or like a specific set of countries where the GDP is extremely high, then you have to pay a higher tariff. That still the top of it is like 2,500 so per year. So the overall costs that you have to budget is not about the tuition fee of the university. It's most about the cost of living when you are studying abroad. That leads to a budgeting scenario of 10,000, 12,000 euros.
I can take that maybe. So I would say the specific topic of your internship depends on you. It can be research-based, it can be clinical-based. It really depends on what your interests are, and of course you need to find an organization that will take you in. One rule, of course, I mean the rule is that this is determined by the law, so not by our program. It's a law that regulates psychological programs in Italy. It cannot be a university. The internship cannot happen within our university or within any university in the world. So other than that, you can do it wherever you want. So for example, you can do it in a research-oriented hospital and then do research in that you can. You can go to practitioners or broader groups of practitioners. You can do that. You can go to companies in which you have and the other requirement, especially if you do it in Italy, you need to have a licensed psychologist within the organization. If you do it abroad, you need to have someone who is equivalent to a licensed psychologist in that organization. So of course they cannot be licensed in Italy if you do it abroad. So we will evaluate whether the supervisors of the internship have sufficient expertise in psychologists to train you. That's it. No, I answer in the chat. You can choose whatever you want. Yes, of course. So this is a very good question. We do. If you read the official call, and maybe I will also link it this one in the chat, because many answers about the practicalities can be found in the actual call. Here it is. Give me a second. And the deadline for us to let you know whether you were admitted or not is May the 18th, I think, or the 15th. I don't know. Let me check. It's May 18th. So not later than the 18th of May. And you may wonder, why do we need 1.5 months to decide? It's because we need to take all of the applications, which are typically more than 200, evaluate them one by one, and then rank them. And this, before that, we need to establish whether they fulfill each of the requirements. So, for example, if your degree is in psychology is legitimate, or if you have some other background and how it aligns, then we need to rank them all. and this process takes a lot of time. So, but by the 18th of May, at the latest, you will know. You will not have any, let's say, pre-acceptance, but you will know if your application is not formally eligible. That you will know. So, for example, if you don't have a bachelor, but you have something like high school background, then you will know very quickly that you are not admitted. But if your application is formally correct, then about half of May, you will know. I have a question by Greta in the chat. Maybe I will give to Alberto. How much time do we have to decide whether we are interested in signing for the course? So once they know, like half of May, that they are in, how long do they have for the site? Whether they really want to...
Actually, half of May is from the call. We hope to be able to deliver these answers a little bit earlier to the as a first graduatory. Normally, it is 2 weeks the time that is given to make up the decision. This is due to the fact that we cannot move too far away down the line on the calendar. If you have to go, let's say, down the list of admitted students for visa issues. So in order to give the opportunity to students to apply for their visa in a, let's say, in a scenario where they had good chances to receive their visa, we cannot say, okay, you are enrolled to the program too down the line in the calendar. So this is why the time is for comfort very long.
Where can applicants upload, attach their CV? So I realized that this is something we changed a couple of years ago. So you do not need to...
You don't need to upload the CV. The CV is the application, because when you submit your application, you submit your educational background, your professional background, and the motivation letter. So it's not like a European format CV that you need to upload. It's the application itself that makes the CV.
Just to be clear, what we did a few years ago is this: since we received different resumes in different formats, in which people included information that was not very relevant to the selection. So, for example, if you babysit or you work in something that is unrelated to academia or something. So, work experience is also important, but we wanted it to be very structured. So, within the apply format, you will find home university, the languages that you speak, employment history, activities that you have done, and in there you can add everything relevant that you have done so far. So, for example, if you graduated from economics before psychology, this is relevant, but you can put it in there. So it's very structured, and it makes our life easier because we need to compare very directly. Again, more than 200 applications every year, so we really need it to be structured. Bye, Jordi. Oh, yes. Okay. I can understand the confusion. So applied psycholinguistics, we decided to change its name. And it's now called language recognition. So the professor is the same. The content is not exactly the same, but quite similar, because we noticed that the name applied psycholinguistics wasn't always very clear. So yes, essentially yes, under the name language recognition. Yes, yes, absolutely. We have 20. Yes, can you hear me? Okay, we have 20 places for students from outside the European Union, so those who are requesting a visa. If you are from the European Union, from Italy, or if you are born outside the EU, but you have a visa already in the EU, so if you're a resident here, you have 45 places. I have to say that applying as extra EU is more challenging. So it's more the competition is lower if you apply as an EU student. We received many applications from outside the EU. No, we don't have any interview. No. We used to have it, but it was very complicated actually, because again, many students, and we thought that we didn't need it really, so we removed. They don't need to apply explicitly. This is tricky, I know, but we made it easier for them. So you apply the master program, and automatically you apply for the scholarship. The ranking of admission of our master program for all of the students who are outside Italy, and being outside Italy means two things: you are a resident, not a resident in Italy, and your bachelor is not acquired in Italy. We rank all of the applications, giving them a score between 0 and 100. Those with the 5 with the highest score will get the scholarship without any need for further application. You can, of course, if you get the scholarship for any reason, decline it, say, I don't want this money. But I don't think this will easily happen. I don't know. If for any reason, I don't know, you have too much money and you don't want it, you can also refuse it. But you automatically enter the application process without doing anything else. And of course, just to be clear, this money is not provided up front. It delivered in tranches that depend on your career. So you get 10,000 the first year, 10,000 the second year, and not all of the money together, but you need to pass the exams, and then you get the money. Yeah, we figured that out.
There are different deadlines for submitting the language requirements. Within the platform, it is specified, let's say that you booked your IELTS and you don't have it now, you still can apply. And you, of course, for the, let's say, for the scholarship point of view, this is something that most certainly the Evaluation Commission may take in consideration, the fact that the English certificate is not yet acquired, okay? But from the application point of view, you can obtain the IELTS or TOEFL certificate later on. You don't have to hold the language requirement at the moment you submit your application.
Just to be clear, if you don't have, I mean, this was thought. You can submit the final English certification before end of July, if I'm not mistaken. But again, in the call, you will find the exact date. And the idea is that people may not have an English certificate ready. As Alberto told you, the English proficiency will contribute to your possibility to be taken in AEPS and to receive the scholarship, but it's only 1 point out of 100. 1 point out of 100. So it's not really relevant. So you can also be awarded the scholarship if you don't have the English certification ready yet. What you mean?
No, sorry. Can you repeat the question? I didn't catch the first part.
Oh.
No, they don't. They don't need to be. They don't need to be legally translated. Needs to be official translation in case they are documents from the university. Most of the university normally provide documents at least in English. Okay. In case you don't have like an official translation. You're still suggested to register with a courtesy translation, okay? So at least the professor, the selection committee gets acquainted in what is about the document you are submitting, okay? It might not come totally in consideration and in count, but at least they know what is it about without having to, let's say, physically put it on Google Lens or documents to to find out what that specific document is about. Consider that we receive application for every year, so that's a lot of language.
Consider that ultimately the selection voluntarily, so the most important thing for us as much as possible. So thank you very much for having us today, and I would really like to thank the students who attended this session. They were very active, asked a lot of questions, showed a lot of interest, and this is really a very good sign. I expect to see this proactivity also when you will, if you will be in Milan next year. This is really appreciated, and well, of course, I hope to meet you in person in a few months. So good luck with your application process. And well, something, if I may give you a suggestion, in your motivational letter, if possible, mention that you attended this session. So tell very clearly that you went to this session and you learn about the program there. So it will attest to your interest in the program. So maybe I award you more points, just to be clear. So mention it. Even if I'm telling you also for people who may watch a video recording of this later on, it's also valid. We want to see that you are informed about the program and that your motivation aligns with the program. Again, thank you very much for your interest and attention.